Have you ever sent a quick email that, somehow completely derailed a major international deal? Yeah, we've all been there. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking the absolute foundational mechanics of international business communication. We're going to track exactly how a message travels, why it sometimes just completely crashes and burns, and how you can master the whole process. If you work in any sort of global organization, consider this your essential playbook. Okay, let's dive into this. Look at this fact. Defective communication is the root cause of more business and industrial conflicts than literally any other factor. No way around it. We aren't just talking about a few hurt feelings here. We're talking about massive, very real impacts on a company's profitability, coordination, and overall success. When miscommunication happens on a global scale, the stakes and the financial costs are incredibly high. To fix those defects, well, here's our roadmap. We'll cover the meaning of business communication, the directions and elements of a message's journey, the barriers that get in the way, the 7 core principles to overcome them, and finally, the skills you need for success. Section 1. The meaning of business communication. So international business communication actually goes way beyond just, firing off an email or transferring raw data. It's the highly intentional process of bringing a message from one organization or person to another across international borders, specifically to drive commercial processes and ultimately generate a profit. But the second you introduce borders, everything changes. You aren't just translating words, you're translating intent across different cultural nuances, completely different legal frameworks, and diverse market expectations. It's really about actively sharing ideas to build absolute clarity between buyers, sellers, and producers all around the globe. Think about how your own communication shifts based on your environment. Formal language is your office toolkit. It's structured, it's precise, and it's aimed at a very specific goal, like drafting a complex international purchase order. Informal language, on the other hand, is your everyday life at home with family and friends. It relies super heavily on assumed context and shared history. Now, bleeding informal habits like using regional slang or a super casual tone into a formal international setting, that is a remarkably quick way to cause professional confusion. Because what feels super friendly in one culture might feel deeply unprofessional in another. Section 2. Directions and elements. And this brilliantly illustrates how fragile a message can actually be. Every single interaction loops through 5 key elements. Let's say a sender in Tokyo drafts a new strategy. They turn that idea into a message. Then it travels through a media or channel, maybe it's a project management tool. It lands with the receiver in London, who then has to decode it through their own cultural and professional lens. But the loop is not closed until we get feedback, a yes, a no, or even just a clarifying question. If the London team misinterprets the tone because of the chosen channel, and the Tokyo team never bothers to ask for feedback, the entire strategy fails. Every single link in this chain absolutely must hold. Now, within a global company, those messages travel in 4 distinct directions, and they each come with their own pitfalls. Downward is top-down, like a massive global directive from headquarters. Upward is bottom-up, and this one is absolutely crucial. In high-power distance cultures, upward communication can be heavily restricted, making it incredibly tough for leadership to get honest feedback from their international branches. Horizontal is peer-to-peer, between people at the same level, but usually in entirely different time zones. And finally, cross-channel happens when a message zigzags across different departments and hierarchy levels. Understanding exactly which path your message is taking globally dictates how you should craft it so it actually survives the trip. Moving on to Section 3. Barriers to communication. These barriers, are communication villains, if you will, essentially fall into 2 camps, and both get massively magnified internationally. First, psychological barriers. These are internal. It's different cultural backgrounds, or an employee's fear of being blamed, which makes them hesitate to share vital info. And that fear, it can be totally amplified when they're communicating in a second language. Then we have physical barriers. These are the external disruptions. While that used to just mean, a noisy office, today a physical barrier is a massive time zone disconnect that forces crucial conversations into rushed, asynchronous emails, or maybe it's faulty video call tech right in the middle of a high-stakes negotiation. Both of these threats can completely derail understanding and ultimately hurt your bottom line. Section 4. The 7 principles.
So the crucial point is applying these 7 principles, often called the 7 C's, to bulletproof your message. Let's run right through them. Your message must have completeness, giving all the necessary facts so a team 12 hours away isn't stuck waiting for a follow-up. Conciseness means getting straight to the point, because brevity respects people's time. Consideration is vital internationally. It means putting yourself in the receiver's shoes and adapting to their cultural norms. Concreteness uses solid facts and figures instead of vague ideas, which can literally save thousands of dollars by preventing ambiguous production requests. Clarity ensures the meaning is instantly understandable, so skip the complex idioms. Courtesy shows genuine respect to build global rapport. And finally, correctness means flawless grammar, spelling, and accurate data. Nailing these 7 ensures your receiver fully understands your intent every single time.
Section 5. Skills for Success.
Executing those 7 C's requires a blend of 2 main skill sets. Verbal communication involves the words themselves, so your speaking, listening, writing, and reading abilities. But in international business, nonverbal communication is often the biggest minefield. This is your eye contact, your body language, your facial expressions, and your physical presence, even if it's just over a webcam. In some cultures, direct eye contact is seen as aggressive. In others, it's a fundamental sign of trustworthiness. True communication mastery means harmonizing these skills. You have to align your spoken tone, your cultural awareness, and your visual cues to ensure the message absolutely never gets lost in translation.
Which brings us to our final thought. Are you truly communicating or just letting messages pass by? After seeing the mechanics, the barriers, and the principles of how a message actually works across borders, take a moment to reflect on your own workplace habits. Are you completing that feedback loop? Are you consciously using the 7 C's? Are you actively adjusting for different cultural contexts? True communication isn't just talking. It's an active, highly profitable skill. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you make every single message count.